Previously on Anachronology.
2021? Oh, never liked bucket hats. I don't think they look right.
Isn't Matt LeBlanc in that like baseball movie with a monkey?
Where have I seen this? Okay, $200,000 for farting in a jar.
The Anachronauts. They travel through time by downloading history to their brains and archive the past in order to save the future. With their trusty brain download computer, the Epic Traversier, they randomly visit the past year after year. Join them as they embark on their next adventure. Prepare yourself for Anachronology.
We're going live. We're doing it live.
What's up, bro? What's up, everyone?
Hey, hello. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining. This is kind of fun. This is kind of different and weird. Yeah. Look at that.
There it is.
Baby. Look at us. This was at a different time in my life when I had a sweet jawline. Obviously, you can see there.
You got a little mullet action going on. You got a little party in the back.
We like our feathered hair here at Anachronology.
I look like a guy who wants to be Bradley Cooper so bad in that photo.
You do.
I want to be Bradley Cooper so bad.
Yeah, you could be Bradley Cooper's stand-in or something. I think
so bad.
There is a future for you. Hello, everyone. I am, of course, Major Tom, joined by my pal, my confidant, Major Clay.
Hello, everyone.
And we do what we do, us Anachronauts, traveling through time. It's very important duty that we need to do. We need to basically capture all of history to save the future. It's a very big task, but somebody has to do it. And of course, those somebodies are us, of course.
The adage, history is doomed to repeat itself. Well, maybe we can learn a thing or two about these past few decades that make up the timeline for pretty much anyone who's still alive watching this. Well, you'll remember some of this stuff.
Yeah, you might, and you may not.
Guarantee.
And if you don't, that's the best part, that you get to learn things that you didn't even know existed. I'm talking to you, Gen Zers.
And I can speak for Tom and myself. We also learn things doing this every week. So if you like having a fun time, if you like learning something, if you like rehashing something that's like, hey, I remember that, then please, by all means, you can check us out on all podcast servers. Check us out on Patreon. We've got we're gonna have dumping off a little more places for you to go and support us. We're gonna have some merch, but for now, you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Absolutely. I think we are like a scumbag PBS. We're made possible by viewers like yourselves. I think that's important. Ticking at the bottom is our Patreon address. You should check it out. Like Clay said, I think we're all about that extra content. Content is king, people, and we're trying to give you all that extra goodies. And look, if you can do $5 a month, $10 a month, you will have my firstborn child. That's a promise. I'm going to put it out there right now that he or she is yours for the taking.
Hey, let's not gender them just yet.
That's true.
We've learned anything in 2023. We can't gender anything.
You're right. And I feel that if anything, I would just make that extra bonus content as well, is the gender reveal party that we would do for our Anachronology people. But
already out of the gate, alienating some audience members. Like, I can't believe they're saying that. They're making jokes.
Hey, come on now. We're all about the jokes here, but like I said, we do also have a YouTube channel. This will always be posted up on said YouTube channel. So you should do the old clickaroo and follow us right down there somewhere in your screen area. You should click it and subscribe so you get all the sweet updates. I mean, it's going to be better if you are a Patreon member because you get all of the bonus cool stuff. But at least with a subscription, you're going to know, hey, as that new stuff is coming out, that's what it is all about. Yeah, you can see our little arrow down there.
And if you don't like watching advertisements, because the video podcast, unfortunately, is going to have some advertisements. However, if you want to be a Patreon, you get a little advertising free. You get the straight shot. So if you want to see a couple white guys who have been lifelong friends in middle age talk about things they live through, by all means, subscribe. Give us a follow up. Be a patron.
I couldn't have said that better. And it's true. We are chums. We are pals. We're not going to, of course, age ourselves, but we've been around for a while now. And I think some of this time travel is fun for us. We get to kind of go back to times in our past and just rehash. And like Clay said, I think I'm learning stuff by doing this too, because either it's like, oh, it's a jot down memory lane, or I'm like, I didn't even know that ever existed, and I was like walking around during that time. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's
Fun and
always fun
wild.
to and it's always fun to see how like how things stay the same and how things change because I guarantee you there's going to be there's going to be a lot of that really happened not too long ago, something that would seem very uncommon, very out of place. How did they get away with that? Not to tease anything too much, but I guarantee you
No,
you'll learn yourself something and have a laugh.
I absolutely agree. And obviously, this show wouldn't be possible without the help of our wonderful AI producer, the Epoch Traverser. It's what makes all this amazing time travel possible. Of course, the AI producer is not either a him or a she or an it. It's kind of a everything, and it's a big part of the show. It chimes in now and again, and is actually really pinnacle in writing most of the show. So if you hate it, you can blame the AI producer, not us, because we had nothing to do with it.
And there is a complaint form. You could just fire it off to he is also HR here on Acronology. So all complaints can be directed right to him. No problem.
Yeah, him, her, they, it,
Or her, they, yeah, it's AI producer.
machine, even.
They am.
It is time to find today's time coordinates from the Epoch Traverser.
Here we go, baby. Alrighty. And like
funky
that,
sound.
of course, it just basically kicked us out and said, hey, guys, it's time to travel. Back to 1990 is an interesting choice, man. Wow. Okay. That's where we be going this time around.
Oh man, that seems like not too long ago,
Oof,
but it's
it's a long time
in
back.
in my years. That's a little long time. But I was just you and I were just a wee little lads here in 1990.
We were very,
Not
very
even
wee little
teenagers.
lads.
Not even
Yeah, very,
teenagers.
very adolescent, small, young boys in this period of time. But yeah, 90's an interesting one. Of course, it is always at random. The Epoch Traverser just kind of juggles time, tells us where we're going. 1990. Yeah, like honestly, right off the bat, nothing is like jumping at me for 1990. It
All right.
should
So
be interesting.
what I can remember is the like newspapers. Remember those kids? But I can remember the newspaper and like I want to say around that time was when like the Berlin Wall fell and shit, like all the Cold War stuff. Like I remember like as much as there is, if you're watching this in present day, as much as Russia and the United States are at odds currently, there was fucking like 50 or 60 years where it was just like worse than it is now. And
Yeah,
that
can
was
you
like
believe that?
way worse than it was now. So I remember that like in the news, like the like communism, the threat of the US. It wasn't even the Soviet Union. It wasn't even Russia. It was the USSR. It was the Soviet Union. It had a wholly different freaking name of the country. So that is one thing that I remember. I can also remember personal life. I remember the girls, like the clothing and hairstyle of girls. Like it's not quite 80s, but it's also not like Saved by the Bell, like money, like I look like I have money. Like it was a really weird, like kind of like bad hair, denim,
Yeah.
like a lot of denim, a lot of fluorescent still. Like those are the things that pop out to me, like communism and like big hairstyles. That's what kind of pops in my head.
Okay. All right, that's fairly good. Yeah, I mean that's bringing back some memories. And I mean, we have to think too. I mean, we were at that point basically exiting the 80's, and there was a big dynamic shift in what we were going to be coming into in the 90's for the next 10 years. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of like we were ushering things out, bringing things in, and look, I mean, I've said it a lot. I think, and again, not to put an age on us, but I think we grew up in a really good time, being kind of like raised in the 80's, and then kind of coming to our personalities kind of gathering in the 90's. There was just so much stuff going on. I mean, everything from how great music was, how great movies were, it's just like everything has this this certain feel to it that's encapsulated, especially in the 90's, because at that point we were kind of mid to late 90's, we were kind of becoming teenagers, and it was just like it was a wild time to be alive.
I remember we talked about this before, but one of the things that I think we benefited from, I guess is the word to use, from the time where being born in the 80s and then growing up in the 90s. And this is along the lines of as far as common technology, like Mr. AI producer here, the Epoch Traverser, computers, man. Like we were I know that like computers existed, you know, as huge as fucking things as big as this room, and then it got smaller and smaller. But you got to figure like the Apple IIe computer lab playing Number Cruncher, if anyone knows what the hell that is. I mean, Oregon Trail, like we were the Oregon Trail generation, like Oregon Trail. And then like I mean, everyone nowadays has a much more powerful computer in their pocket in the form of their phone. We had to go to like one room in school to go on a computer when we were kids. Like that was, or you had like a rich uncle or somebody who had like a computer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Epoch Traverser set to calculate today's time coordinates. Please equip your neural time portation devices now and prepare for cerebral temporal leap.
Oh, and there they be. Okay, thank you, AI producer. So yeah, here we go. I guess it is time to embark to the year of 1990. Yeah, I guess, you know what, everybody, buckle up, and we're going to see you on the other side. Bye.
Access granted.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
All right, so this portion of the show is brought to you by Alibis Gentlemen's Club. Welcome to Alibis Gentlemen's Club. No more parolee worries. Your alibi awaits. At Alibis Gentlemen's Club, we understand the challenges faced by parolees, and we're here to make your life easier. Our exclusive establishment is the ultimate solution for proving you were where you said you were. The perfect alibi. Whether it's a casual meetup or a formal event, our upscale club provides the perfect setting to ensure you have a credible alibi at all times. Immerse yourself in an inviting atmosphere that caters exclusively to the needs of parolees. Enjoy the company of like-minded individuals in a discreet and comfortable setting. Don't let the fear of inadequate proof haunt you. With Alibis Gentlemen's Club, you'll have a reliable alibi that stands up to scrutiny. Experience luxury, indulge in our premium amenities, top-notch service, and entertainment, all while having peace of mind knowing your alibi is rock solid. As a special offer, receive a complimentary consultation to tailor your alibi experience to your specific needs. Don't wait. Secure your alibi with confidence at Alibis Gentlemen's Club, where your truth is our promise. Alibis.
Alibis.
You are watching Anachronology.
You better be watching.
Well, I gotta say, the nosebleeds have gotten way better after the temporal, time travel. Before I would just be gushing blood, but now I'm better. It's way better.
It gets a little easier. I don't know what that says to if it's a testament of the process or physical bodies, but it gets easier. It gets easier.
We're adapting, Clay, is what it is.
Yeah.
I think we're adapting to kind of what this time meld is doing on our brains and bodies. But,
it's like
1990 feels good. Yes.
Yeah, it's like when fighter pilots where they have to go like pull the G's and like do that like and make sure they don't pass out. That's kind of like what we're doing when we're blasting through time.
Absolutely. To get to 1990, today's chosen year. 1990, baby. I mean, 1990. You were right. Obviously, the Cold War, they say the Cold War came to an end at that point. I mean, that's pretty cool. Some, significant political changey kind of thing going on there.
Yeah, it says here, witness the transformative events that reshaped the Cold War came to an official end as it underwent significant political changes. I mean, I think there's a story with Yeltsin, I believe. Well, Gorbachev was in either case. Boris Yeltsin came. Yeah, but Boris Yeltsin was like before him, came to the United States, and he went to a grocery store in like Texas, and he looked and he looked at all the the fruit and the vegetables, and he's like, that's when I knew that we were doomed. He's like, I thought this was like the one store that had this in like 100-mile area, and he's like, they have one of these on like every block. So that's pretty fucked up that. Not like 30 years ago, some dude saw a bunch of like cantaloupes and tomatoes and was like, my country's fucking doomed.
It's gone. If you could only see all the Starbucks that have replaced it now since, that's pretty fucked up. Yeah, and then obviously other big events. Nelson Mandela was released from prison, and apparently in 1990. Good old Nelson Mandela. That's pretty
All right,
dope.
I know this is the Tony's taking us out in 1990 a little bit, but wasn't Nelson Mandela like in the Mandela effect? Didn't that come up recently in like
Hmm.
popular culture? Like, because I wanted to say the reason he
Yeah.
calls the Mandela effect is because I think people thought he was dead, like he died in prison, but he did not. He was released from prison, but I think that was like one of the reasons why
Huh.
it's like, hey, remember Nelson Mandela? It's like, yeah, the guy that died in prison. It's like, no, he didn't. So, but either or, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's a
Good on
weird
you.
phenomenon. Yeah, remembering history or remembering the past in a different way. But that's very true, and hopefully we can clear that up on the show. Where this is
And
all pretty, pretty
yeah,
perfect.
and to learn you something here, folks, it says, the turning point in the Nelson Mandela's release was a turning point in South Africa's anti-apartheid struggle. And
Mm,
if you guys don't know what apartheid is, that is when the white people in Africa didn't like black people. So
yeah,
it's not just the United States. It's not. It's literally it's across the country. It's across the world rather, in a completely different country. They also
yeah.
didn't. White people also did not like black people.
Ah, what a shocker, I guess. What else? Gulf War erupted. The big old Gulf War. That was kind of a fun war too. Remember the cool Gulf War trading cards that everybody had in the
Dude,
90s?
do you remember? I must have been. Oh Christ! I remember what classroom I was in my elementary school where we put together like care packages for the
Yes,
soldiers. Like, remember that? Like
absolute,
sending care
dude,
to the soldiers.
absolutely. Yeah.
I
Can you
I
imagine
completely
being
forgot
some
about that.
soldier just being like, "Hey, this is sweet. I just get all this free crap from these like random kids."
Look at this kid wants me to go kill a towel head. This is awesome, man. This is great.
Yeah.
I got a Snicker bar and an M14.
Yeah, thank you for your service note. Like, and honestly though, like the Gulf War was just kind of one of those wars where it was kind of a chill war, if I remember it correctly. I don't think there was like a ton of
Well,
casualties and stuff on our
it
end, at least.
I think it lasted like didn't it last like a month or something? Like we just went in and just fucking dropped America's dick all over Iraq. We just blew all their shit out of the water. I think we just literally flew in our planes, just
Oh yeah.
blew everything up, and then just marched to the freaking front gates. And we're like, "Are you
Oh
done?
yeah.
Because you can
Let
keep
us
going.
in. Yeah, pretty
We can keep
much.
going."
And then
You-
yeah, and then obviously, all like the remember what's his name? General Schwarzkopf.
Storm and Norman Schwartz.
And I remember, and I can see his Gulf War like trading card. I can see it now. It had, and remember, it had like the desert camo border. It was like
Oh yeah,
it was like it wasn't just like green camo. It was like sand camo.
dude.
It was
That's
freaking
part of the reason
sweet.
why we went to war. We had so much sand colored camo. We had to like get that. We had to get that on the bodies. We had to see how that worked out. We had
Listen,
freaking
we gotta use
warehouse.
this sand camo.
Listen, we overextended ourselves on this budget.
We did. Yeah.
We really need to see how these hold up.
It was just America being like, "Hey guys, listen, we fought in the jungle. That was really cool. Like we fought abroad in Europe. I think we need a desert war. We're due for a desert war, guys."
Yeah, I mean, I wonder too, like what amount of shit that they just had laying around that they were
Oh
just
my
like, well,
god.
just fucking use this, so then we can use these
Oh
new
yeah.
things. Like, just blow shit up. Like we're going to
Just
war.
blow it
Like,
up.
who gives a fuck? We're going to
Yeah, we're
war.
the United freaking States. And then really, I mean, when it comes to like the broad strokes of the 90s, I think you mentioned prior to our time jump, dude, the internet, the very seed of the internet was being
The
planted at this
it's
time.
It says here it was 1990 was the launch of the World Wide Web, which there was like the internet was a thing that was accessible. There wasn't basically the protocol, the World Wide Web protocol was like not that it was ever like regulatory, but that was the thing that is you go online today. That was like the first incarnation of that.
Wow.
Like there was the internet in regards to like computers could talk to each other via phone lines, but as far as everything that we know it as today, like surfing and searching and web pages, 1990 with the birth of the World Wide Web.
And to think how much changed after that, obviously. It's
And
almost like an age of innocence at the very end of the 80s. And then here we come. We get this new blessing. I'm not going to say it was a curse, but I'm going to say it wasn't all a blessing. The internet obviously was a great gift to mankind.
I don't know if the way back machine goes as far back, but I guarantee you, whatever the first thing on the World Wide Web is, the second page is porn. I guarantee it. Somebody like put tits
Yeah,
on the internet. That's like the second thing.
Yeah.
That's like the second thing that was on the internet ever. It was like a pair of tits.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Well, I think it is time to.
Hello, Tom
Oh,
and Clay. I am happy
Hey.
you have successfully downloaded the information from today's chosen year and are ready to begin the Archival session. Please focus on the following categories
Focus.
provided by your galactic overlords. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Hello, Tom and Clay.
Oh,
I am
talking to me
happy you
again?
have successfully downloaded the information from today's chosen year and are ready to begin the Archival session. Please focus on the following categories provided by your galactic overlords. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Greeting Anachronauts. Welcome to today's year. Please proceed in discussing the following categories provided by your galactic overlords.
Here we
Thank
go.
you and have a wonderful day.
It's very sophisticated computing right here.
That's 1990 tech right there.
Very, very, very ahead of its time.
Very on brand for the year we're in.
Here we go.
Is that a gateway? They make those
Yeah,
anymore?
it looks like or a Dell.
Early Dell.
Oh, cool. Category 1.
Oh.
Here we go.
All right.
Nope.
Lingo.
Lingo
The
it is.
category is Lingo.
Fun.
And even the design
All
was
right.
very 90s though.
Very.
Upset.
All right.
No, don't yell. Don't.
Oh. Tabloids,
The
huh?
category
Also
is
very
tabloids.
90s.
Yeah, it's on par.
Also very 90s.
And number 3. What do you got for us? Oh. Well,
The category is Tech.
1990, baby. Good year.
all right, those are 3 fairly good categories for 1990. Oh. Let's get it going,
Let
baby.
the categories begin.
Oh yeah. Oh
right,
yeah.
so-
Oh wow. So let's sum it up. What do we got going on here?
We have some lingo, which, if anyone's unfamiliar, that is not the game show hosted by Chuck Woolery that was on the Game Show Network. It is the slang term for
It's a gem.
slang words or terminology. And I guess, coming off, I don't really think there's anything. There is some lingo for the 90s for sure, 1990 for sure. But man, like
Hells yeah.
there's some cringe-inducing. Cringe is even this present day lingo, but yeah, God. I'm trying to think of if I was guilty of overuse of any of these phrases or any of this like 1990 lingo. Like
We're
I'm
gonna
sure I must
find
be
out.
guilty of it.
We're definitely going
must
to
be
find
guilty of
out.
it.
I think so. In summary, we have a lingo category, which is our first one, then followed up by tabloids, which I'm sure people are like, what the hell are tabloids? Basically, all the frickin', paparazzi garbage and slash. But of course, in the 90s, tabloids took on a different form altogether, which we will talk about. Tabloids and then almighty tech in the 1990s. So those are 3 of our categories for this wonderful 90s episode. And like you said, first up, lingo. How people talked, what they said, what was cool, what was slick. And we guess we'll try our best to kind of describe those things to people that may not have lived during that time. Again, some of you Gen XYZers, I don't know if you're going to know this stuff or you've heard it like reincarnated in a weird way now, but I guess we'll try our best to talk through lingo.
Yeah, I'm there is definitely like present day lingo and terminology that you're getting old when you have to fire up the World Wide Web to look up what like an abbreviation is or an acronym or anything like that.
Oh my god.
I don't think
All
there's
the time.
anything. Yeah, I don't think there's anything like that cryptic in this 1990 lingo, but they are also not cool.
They're definitely not. You're going to find
cool.
that this stuff doesn't just be like a mic drop moment when you say these kinds of things in the lingo world. So let's kick lingo off and let's see what our first thing is in lingo. Fly.
Not
boy.
an insect, although it is an insect. There is like you could have your jeans could be fly, your hair could be fly. That girl over there, she could be real fly. Fly is just another way. It's like not even cool. It's like it's like it doesn't have to be like sexy or hot, but it does mean like attractive, like hip, but it's different because 1990.
And it's not to be confused with the Sugar Ray song Fly, which eventually came out and ruined this word a few years probably after its kind of pop culture moment. But that was perfect. That's a perfect explanation of Fly. I would agree. Fly is just like, it's a seal of approval. It's a good word to say. If you were Fly, if that was Fly, yo.
It was,
and then even weren't there Fly Girls?
Oh yeah, the Fly Girls in Living Color, which
in Living Color, and they were like sexy dancer girls.
You can look up what's her name, Jennifer Lopez. I believe Jennifer Lopez got her start as a Fly Girl,
Look at that. There you go.
Jenny from the block was legit a Fly Girl.
She was Fly, baby. Oh boy. Okay. This one was a very weird one that really was prevalent in that time. Talk to the Hand was just like a stupid diss, and a lot of it was accompanying with a hand up, a hand to talk to the hand. And a lot of it was very dismissive and just kind of writing people off. And said it was kind of like a more toned down FU to somebody. Talk to the hand.
That is, I think it's a very good. I think that's a very good way to like phrase it. It's like a toned down FU, but also it's like I think it's like it was synonymous with more like young girls or like teenage girls doing it. But also it kind of falls into like a Karen category, kind of, where it's like, I'm done with you, like talk to the hand. Like it's kind of like saying I want to speak to your manager without saying I want to speak to your manager. It's like this conversation is over. Like, but you know how like in a dictionary, they'll give you a entomology, like where the origin of this came from. Who the hell came up with this? Because this is like, it involves like an act out. It also is like kind of just like, it doesn't really make any sense. You know what I mean? Like you like talk to the hand. Like it doesn't. It's like. I just don't know who saw that, and someone else is like, yo, you know what Tom did today? He told this person to talk to the hand, and I am stealing that. I'm going to use it tomorrow, the next day, every day.
Oh yeah,
like I just
it caught like wildfire, and that was it. If you got told to talk to the hand, you basically got told to get the F out of there. Like they're not end of conversation or cutting it off. You've now been told to talk to this said person's goddamn hand.
Yeah, doesn't hold up, doesn't age.
Oh, okay. Take this. You want to take this one? Yeah, this one's weird.
So as if I also feel like is another phrase that I wonder if this comes from like California, West Coast culture, because I know a lot of this stuff is synonymous with like bro talk or surfer, like Pauly Shore. If oh Christ, Pauly Shore, man, we'll probably have some Pauly Shore footage. But
we may roll that beautiful Pauly Shore footage.
Yeah. So as if it's kind of like if someone were to say I'm trying to think of like a proper way to use it, but it's like oh yeah, I'm really like sarcastically, someone would be like, oh yeah, I think she's really hot, or you think she's really hot. It's like as if, so it's kind of like you're like as if that's even possible, like as if that would even be the truth. It's kind of like saying like what are you talking about, like what are you talking about, but you're saying it more like a girl who's 14 years old would be like, as if, like that is kind of what as if translates to.
Yeah, I hear it in that tone too, in that kind of like just like gum chewing Venice Beach like gaggle of teenage girls talking shit about each other in the 1990s or something. But you're right, that's what I would pretty much summarize as if. Booyah is a good one. I miss Booyah. Booyah was just kind of like almost, again, I feel like these, until we started just dropping the F-bomb in a lot of things that we say now, I feel like this could be like F yeah, like, saying yeah. But this was like booyah, like it was always like, I don't know if it was like, it would always kind of come after a big moment, say you're on the freaking court, you shoot the 3, it goes in, booyah. Like that justifies a booyah. So booyah kind of came as an exclamation mark after things.
And then I'm trying to think, like there has been obviously the Booyakasha, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did they use Booyah in NBA jams? Did they use Booyah in NBA Jam? Bushakia? Did they use that in NBA Jam? Because obviously there's like he's on
very
fire.
NBA jammy. Now that you're saying it, yeah, he's on fire.
Yeah, I
mean NBA Jam was a dope game, and they I felt like really pulled out a lot of the lingo of that time. And I'm not sure when NBA Jam really came out. I would think it may have come out latter in the latter
Like,
90s or mid 90s.
yeah, I'm trying like, but it goes to show like how like not sucky the phrase booyah is. Booyah, it's like much like its purpose to be like fuck yeah, like booyah is like yeah, fuck yeah, man, booyah.
Booyah.
Like booyah's a good one. Booyah holds up.
I'm bringing booyah back. Okay, you want this one?
All right, yeah. So here's another one. It's like the
Oh,
no
boy.
duh, no doy. The no, it's I have man. I wish I could remember this fucking girl's name. I remember there was this cunty girl in middle school, and she would always like yeah, no doy. Like I can see her in Mr. McAllister's printing class, freaking on that side of the Herberg. Can't remember her name, but dude, she would not let this go. And it's like you're not smart. You know what I mean? Like you're telling me no doy, no duh. Like you're a freaking retard. But
No duh.
yeah, that is, yeah, that's just like I mean, even now you got like this could be you like, oh yeah, no duh, but it's not like no duh, it's like no duh. Like they really fucking put stink on it. Like no doy. It's
doy, like I felt like doy was even another level of like duh was bad, but no doy was like, whoa, what did you just say? Did you just extra insult me? Like it's another layer to that like insult sandwich kind of.
Yeah, that's for
all
sure.
right.
It's definitely
fair enough.
Definitely
That one can stay buried. I really never liked that one.
Yeah.
I like this one. I miss oh snap. I still say oh snap. Honestly, that's I screwed up kind of thing. Oh snap, right? Oh
and
snap.
It's like
it's weird.
And that's one too where it's like this is a good one for like a workplace or a function where it's probably not the best idea to like swear all the time, or if you gotta like you're around the in-laws or something and you're making dinner and you drop something and say like, oh fucking shit, like oh snap, like you can kind of catch yourself and not not say something much worse, even though it is kind of like oh shit, but it also could be like a like oh snap, like it's like it could be like an exclamation to something also that's good or cool, not just like ah fuck I fucked up. And so it's got like a little interchangeability, but it's also like a less like a G-rated swear word.
It is very G-rated. It pulls it off pretty nicely. Whatever's been around forever, honestly. I think whatever does like find its way around today, but yeah, that was another one of those that just again it is dismissive. It's a lot of these are really negative now that I'm looking at some of this lingo in 1990.
And not as much as with talk to the hand, but there was also this motion, the W. This also accompanied. This also had an accompanying hand signal that they would. Sometimes they would get. I can remember in class or whatever, like teacher turns their back and someone would go. They would mouth whatever and hold it up, and that would always get a good laugh because someone was making fun of the teacher behind their back. But yeah, this doesn't hold up. I mean, anything again that has
No, sorry. I would that can stay dead and buried.
Yeah.
All right, and then not is not's a stupid one too. Not's just like dad jokey and like just it's like the freaking the rim shot. At the end of some like stupid joke.
That's good. I want to see like how ESPN does like 30 for 30s on like famous sports teams. I want to find like the death of this phrase, because this was like everywhere for a while. It was in sitcoms. It was on in obviously someone you go to like pull a joke or say something to your friend and go nah, like that was a total like an easy punchline, but even though it's not like it's not even a joke, like you just want to say something outlandish and then have someone go really, and then you go nah or something like that, like that.
No, absolutely,
it's so horrible. It's terrible. I don't even know how this one became popular either.
It's so bad. So with that said, those are basically like when we talk about lingo, like lingo is obviously things that were just in the common vernacular during that time. You're talking to somebody and you said that. We cannot also deny that as a culture, we are a culture of people that love to recite movie lines. That's just who we're always going to be. And I think that there were definitely times in the 90s, there were definitely great one-liners in lots of movies that came out. And the 90s is no exception. So we went on to the World Wide Webs and we conjured up a couple of those zingers. So let's take a look. Obviously, first off the bat, a movie that I think still holds up is Kindergarten Cop. and obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger's like very odd and peculiar voice always makes it funny. And I think even today, people are like being real quotey with this movie.
I'm a police officer. This is an arrest. I'm a cop, you idiot. I'm Detective John Kimball. This man is under arrest. Oh, excuse me.
I love this one.
I forgot to introduce myself. My name is John Kimball. Love my car. Open up. Can't come in.
Oh.
Thank you. All right. Party's over. Everyone go home. Next time, my place. Shit! I'm the party pooper. Hey, come here.
That's definitely.
You don't stop screwing around back there. This is what I'm gonna do with you. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Still
Great
use that
one.
line.
I still use that line.
Thanks for the tip. No. Monsters.
Oh, this is the best one.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! That is all your lunches?
Ugh.
You mean you eat other people's lunches? Stop it! We're going to play a wonderful game called Who is My Daddy and What Does He Do? I have a headache.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
I mean, and that one right there, that one's forever solidified into everybody's mind. It's not a tumor.
See, like in this, I think definitely that although this isn't like necessarily lingo, but that phrase, that turn of phrase, I mean, it's not a tumor, that has stuck around much longer than not or talk to the hand has. That's how good it's not a tumor is.
Bless his highly nutritious
Another-
microwavable macaroni and cheese dinner.
Yeah.
and a beautiful
1990
frozen on sale.
Home
Amen.
Alone, huge
You
quotes.
guys give up or you're thirsty for more?
Kids are scared of the dark.
You're afraid of the dark too, Marv. You know you.
I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
Marv,
Harry,
why the hell did you take your shoes off?
why the hell you dressed like a chicken?
Is this toothbrush approved by the American Dental Association?
Look what you did, you little
jerk.
Well, as I'm
Hate
eating
that
junk and watching rubbish, you better come out and stop me.
Keep the change,
Oh.
filthy animal.
Angels with filthy souls.
Yeah,
Great.
honestly, that's the best. I still say that to people. I still tell people to keep the change, you filthy animal. Doesn't go over well all the time, but
My favorite though, in the sequel in Home Alone 2, where he's watching the sequel to Angels with Filthy Souls, Angels with Even Filthier Souls, and we've said it before. You've been smooching with everybody, baby. Snuffy, Mo, Leo, little with a gimpy leg, like that is
Oh,
you've
that's
been smooching with
brilliant,
everybody,
man.
baby. That is
yeah.
one of
So
my favorite
yeah,
lines.
absolutely. So I felt like when these films came out and those lines were in there, that was part of it. You were always like quoting something. See what else? One more. What do we got here? Oh, here it is. Look at that. We got to let it play out. It's too good.
That's so good.
Who is it?
Snakes.
It's me, Snakes.
Oh,
I got
Snakes.
stuff.
Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here.
All right, Johnny. But what about
Johnny.
my money?
What money?
AC said you had some dough for me.
That a fact.
This guy.
How much do I owe you?
AC said 10%.
Too bad AC ain't in charge no more.
What do you mean?
He's upstairs taking a bath.
Ooh.
He'll call you when he gets out. Hey. Tell you what I'm gonna give you, Snakes.
I'm gonna give you.
I'm gonna give you to the count of
Oh.
10 to get your ugly, yellow,
Ooh, yeah.
no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10.
Brilliant.
So good.
Snakes.
So good.
Johnny.
Yeah, whoever that actor is too, I am sure he obviously must have been in some other shit, but he's what? How long is this clip? Like a minute? So he's like a minute total of screen time. He might be the most memorable thing from this movie, aside from freaking what's his name? Macaulay Culkin. He's so that scene is so good.
It's
Too bad
so good.
AC's not in charge no more. So
Yeah,
good.
exactly. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up our voyage into lingo in 1990. It was either you were saying things randomly in the vernacular, or you were quoting movie lines. That's typically how most of pop culture bled its way into how we speak to each other.
Yeah, let's be thankful that a bunch of that 90s lingo stayed in the 90s.
Thank God, because it is pretty crappy. Well, with that said, made it through our first category. Of course, like anything, we always like to pepper in a couple of fun lightning rounds, and we do have one. AI producer has provided us with one to do. One that we like to call Sassy Scriptomatic. And Sassy Scriptomatic is basically where AI producer creates for us a scene to act out that would be using all of the cool lingo that was spoken about in the prior category, which happens to be our awesome 90s lingo. So this ought to be interesting.
And this is meant to show you how, in a real world setting, that these phrases or lingo words would be used to convey what you're trying to get across.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me I'm gonna put on a backing track so we can really get in it and have the mood set. Yeah, let's set the stage here.
So it looks like the title of this Sassy Scriptomatic script is Out of This World Transplant. And it takes place in a spacecraft operating room. And it says here, Dr. Tom and Dr. Clay are wearing futuristic spacesuits, preparing for the world's first heart transplant in space. The zero gravity environment makes everything float around.
This is way too hip. Hold on. This is not good. I need moody.
It is the first.
Oh, that's spacey.
This is for space transplant. Heart transplant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'd be doing transplants to this music. Okay, yeah, this is cool. We're like cool doctors.
Yeah, right? In space.
We're cool space doctors. All right, let's get in the mode here. So here we go. Sassy Script-O-Matic. I am Dr. Tom. I will be playing the role of Dr. Tom.
And I will be playing the role of Dr. Clay.
Yo, Clay, you ready to do something that's fly? We are about to make history.
Talk to the hand, Tom. Of course I'm ready. Ain't nobody do it better than us.
As if. We got this in the bag. My bad. If I seemed nervous earlier, zero-G surgeries ain't no joke.
No doy, Tom, but we've trained for this, and we're the best in the biz.
Oh, snap. Here comes the heart, floating over here like it owns the place.
Whatever. Let's just go to work. Scalpel, please. Not the dope we usually use on Earth, but we'll manage.
Dr. Tom hands over the
Clay starts
scalpel.
the incision.
Eat my shorts. Look at that precision. You're killing it, Clay.
Thanks, buddy. Now hold the heart steady while I remove the damaged one. Dr. Tom carefully holds the floating heart in place.
This is some next level stuff, man. The whole world is watching us.
True that, but let's focus. We need to make sure this transplant goes off without a hitch.
You're right. Hand me the cardiac sutures.
Dr. Clay passes the sutures to Dr. Tom, who starts suturing the new heart into place. Nice work, Tom. We're almost there.
Thanks, bro. Just a few more stitches.
Dr. Tom finishes suturing, and they both observe the new heart beating rhythmically. Mission accomplished. The first heart transplant in space is a success.
We did it, Clay. High five. Oh, wait. No gravity. Fist bump.
Dr. Clay and Dr. Tom perform an awkward floating fist bump. That was dope. Our patients on Earth will be thrilled with this medical breakthrough.
Absolutely. Now let's close up and get this heart back where it belongs.
Dr. Clay begins closing the process as Dr. Tom helps secure the heart. This has been one heck of an experience, Tom.
No kidding. We'll be legends for sure. First doctors to pull off a heart transplant in space.
It's a small step for mankind, but a giant leap for medicine.
Definitely. Now let's get back home and celebrate this milestone.
Dr. Clay nods in agreement as they continue working to close the patient.
Woo! I mean, if that doesn't get made into a major motion picture anytime soon, that is a waste of an incredible script. Thank you, AI producer. I don't know how you come up with this shit. That was incredible.
AI producer, that was like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Like that was, I'd imagine this is like how two like insane asylum patients would be having this. This is like a real conversation that crazy people would have in a padded room, fucking talking about fucking heart transplants that are floating through the air, floating through space. The only thing that AI producer, thank you for the script. However, not was used very incorrectly. Maybe that is something to do with the. Just in case anyone following along at home caught that, to go back, let's get to work. Scalpel, please. Not the dope we usually use on Earth, but we'll manage. See, you have to have not at the end of the sentence.
Absolutely.
So if anyone is trying to use that phrase properly, don't use it as it's been used in this script. Even though we started this process saying it's to show you how to use it. That this one is an oversight. Hey, producer, you will be hearing from my lawyer.
Yeah, we left that with some notes. Obviously, I don't think that was a perfect, flawless execution of all the lingo. It was a little outlandish. I don't really think that would necessarily be possible to do a heart transplant in space. But you know, AI is going to AI, and that's what it did.
And we were so badass space doctors. We didn't even need any like attending nurses or anything. We were just doing it ourselves. That's pretty badass.
No,
I mean, it's pretty badass.
We can handle it all. We can handle it all in 0 Gs. Yeah, but that's pretty good. That's pretty cool. With that said, like anything, I think it's time to take a little bit of the old sponsor break, and then we get to jump into our next category. So, you know, I want you all to hang tight, and yeah, we'll see you very soon.
We'll be right back after these messages. Go get yourself some gabagool.
Okay, so this sponsor break is brought to you by Small and Small Attorneys at Law. They're actually good friends of ours. They're actually my legal team. I use them for everything. Are you ready to step up to the plate to hit the legal challenges of your divorce head on, but prefer a team that thinks outside the batter's box? Look no further. We are the leading experts in small ball litigation, and we take pride in our ability to conquer even the mightiest opponents. At Small and Small, we understand that big problems don't always require grandiose solutions. Our approach to small ball litigation means we focus on the finer details, crafting strategic and innovative legal maneuvers that hit hard where it matters most. Remember, the bigger they are, the harder they small. The Divorce MVP, our lead attorney, will be your designated hitter, focusing on your case with the precision of a seasoned slugger. Grand Slam negotiators. We will work tirelessly to hit a Grand Slam settlement, ensuring you get the best possible outcome. Pitch perfect mediators. When it's time to call a timeout and find common ground, our mediators will step up to the plate. Bases loaded support. From emotional support to financial guidance, we've got your back throughout the entire process. Stealing home custody. We'll do everything in our power to secure a winning custody arrangement for you, for your Little League players. Remember, to contact us now to schedule a consultation and discover how our small ball litigation expertise can make a significant impact on your legal matters. Remember, when it comes to the law, we may be small, but our results are mighty. Small and Small Law Firm. Act now for a limited time offer, 10% here when you use the code Anachronauts. You'll see the link here below. Make sure you click it. And you can tell them Tom and Clay sent you.
Yo, please do. If anyone is going through a custody battle, they will steal home custody to ensure an arrangement for your Little League players. That is great copy. That is excellent copy, Small and Small litigation. You can tell they care.
Thank you very much.
They care.
They do care. Yeah, so check them out, Small and Small.
You are watching Anachronology.
Goddamn right you are. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Small and Small, the fine gentlemen over at Small and Small. They're great. I've had to sue a few people actually in the past several years, and they're my go-to. They're my go-to team. They're great dudes. They're really
the bigger
good
they
dudes.
are, the harder they small.
Absolutely. So yeah, welcome back. We just decided to go after the lingo category, and of course, moving on in the program, we go to our next category, and that category is tabloids. What are tabloids? Again, can you summarize tabloids to the younger folk that might be, wondering, Will, what are tabloids, man?
You know how there's the internet, whether you are on whatever your social media platform of choice, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever the hell else there is, and there's like rumors and gossip, but the people whom are posting those things online are, it's they're not just a nameless reporter. It's actually like people. So take that, but distill that down to like the internet, social media platforms, and distill that down to a piece of paper or several pieces of paper, like a publication that is all lies. So what they are, they were basically newspapers that were full of lies, and they would be found if you go to a grocery store. If you don't get your groceries delivered, there's these things called grocery stores, and in the checkout lines, if the checkout line is being run by a person and you have to wait and sit and look at something, there's a whole wall of lies that I can remember my mom's mother, that would be like my mom would have to go run errands with her once a week. Those would be some of the things she would always come home with. Was the not I think the sun was one of them. I think the sun or the star. There you go. The star. Yeah, the star was one of them. I don't think she was an Inquirer person, but definitely the star. I remember this. So yeah, here we go.
You can see here a great example of what he's talking about. This was actually what made going grocery shopping fun, because it was just scattered with lies as you checked out of the grocery store, basically all right there on that rack.
Yeah, so now there's definitely like some truths that I'm seeing, because what's his name? Like on the Inquirer one, Nancy or Kathy Gifford's husband, he was banging somebody else aside from her.
Oh, he was. Yes, you're right.
That's Marv Albert down there. He definitely had like some sort of weird sexual proclivities, like
yeah.
biting.
Like
so
biting
there is
or something.
yeah, like there is truths in these things here, but it's like they're kind of like they're saying jail for Frank's lover. I don't know if that bitch ever went to jail, but I guarantee you that this is just they're taking famous people and manufacturing drama for the sake of making money selling their publication. So basically
that's well put.
It's basically like a comment section on a thread on something on social media, but instead of it being on the computer, it's in your grocery store in the checkout aisle on a piece of paper.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that basically it was like, imagine if clickbait was just on a rack at the grocery store, and it was what would allure somebody to pick this thing up and flip through it. And obviously the cover always had to pull you in. If you saw it, you were just like, oh my God, Lisa Marie, I got to check this out. And then you just kind of dove into whatever garbage was in these publications. Okay, here's some other ones, some other examples. Of course, National Enquirer was huge. That was like the big, I guess we could call it the rag of the times, especially in the checkout line at the grocery store. But this was like basically where all the dirt and either like total lies or fabrications always made the I think they always took like tragedies and really marketed on people's like horrible things that happened in their lives.
Well, I don't know. I know who Elizabeth Taylor is. I have no idea who like that Liberace looking guy is next to her, but Larry's first wife arrested for prostitution. He drove me to it. So I mean, like, I don't know. Like, this is like you said, like clickbaity.
It's awesome.
Like this has nothing to do with Liz Taylor, aside from this man she married had an ex-wife who apparently got like picked up for hooking. But I mean,
yeah, and apparently she was really poor Liz collapsed, diet crazy Liz. I guess at that time she was hitting the diet pills or something.
There you go. That's what I feel like. That is a thing where they like the manufactured drama where there was probably none of that is true. She probably took a nap. And someone said, I walked in on Liz and she was asleep. And I said, what are you doing? And she's like, I was taking a nap. And that turned into diet crazy Liz collapses. She's rich. She probably had a fucking lunch with mimosas, passed out.
She probably did. And then obviously in that same time period, another kind of very popular, I guess we could call magazine at that period was also just kind of playing off of the lust of young tween girls at the time, and those were typically in the form of Tiger Beat or Teen Beat, and that was when any like young up and coming teen or even like young male was basically plastered all over the covers of these magazines.
Dude, I think dude is on the Teen Beat one. Brad Renfro dead. I think that's Jonathan Brandis. He's dead.
Yeah, he is dead.
There's
Rest in
I don't
peace,
know
brother.
I don't know who Andrew is, but whoever the heck Andrew is, but yeah, this is
Andrew is
this is straight
boldly
up.
rocking a cut off jean jacket there. He's showing those guns, those
he's got
young
a Canadian
boy guns.
He's got a Canadian summer tux. It's all denim
He
with the sleeveless.
He does. And obviously, you know, the Hanson brothers were very sultry, and a lot of fantasies about these three young men right here. Of course, Leo makes an appearance. Leo was on every freaking magazine.
Oh, he's been a dream since he was on Growing Pains. He has been. I mean, look at that motherfucker, dude. He's been killing it since day one.
And he's still dating women
surprisingly-
in that age bracket as well, which is I mean, more power to Leo, I guess. That's his prerogative. But yeah, he's still kind of that's his taste.
And just to go to show like where their this Tiger Beat, you know, their bread was buttered. Leo is taking second fiddle to the Hanson brothers. Like, I mean, they're not the. I mean, they're not ugly by any means, but they're no Leos. Like that's how like important, or that's like what they would push. Like these people who
I love how they had to write
Leonardo,
umbop on the hand, like nobody knew what they were famous for, right?
Even Leo had to play second fiddle to the fucking Hanson brothers here.
So obviously, yeah, these were everywhere. I remember my sister getting these magazines, and just, you know, I don't want to know what was going through any young girl's head at this period of time, but it was really pulling on the fantasy element of it. And then, of course, how can we forget the incredible Weekly World News? These were my favorite publications during that time, and these were the other ones that were just like peppered in the checkout line, and they told a frickin' story. I mean, just look at these things. And of course, their most famous person that ever graced the cover of Weekly World News was Bat Boy. Look at Bat Boy. He is brilliant. He is brilliant.
There is Bat Child found in, like, there's a whole story for him. He was found in a cave. The FBI,
he was captured by the FBI.
Daring it, and he was apparently Bat Boy was a member. He was the perpetrator of a 27-state reign of terror. So he went through freaking half of the United States apparently being Bat Boy. And then Bat Boy escaped. and then after he was already wreaking havoc in 27 states, he apparently goes on to lead cops on an additional 3-state chase. So Bat Boy is a menace to society.
Yeah, I mean, Bat Boy, and, you know, I think, you know, I'm waiting for the Bat Boy movie. I think somebody needs to adapt this. I think this needs to be a major motion picture sometime soon. I would totally pay to see it. A Bat Boy film about his reign of terror over the United States in the early to mid 90s. What a guy.
I mean, I'm actually surprised that there isn't a Bat Boy movie yet. Like, how is A24 or Magnet? How have they not how have they not like, hey, you know what we're doing next? Bat Boy movie.
And you know what's great?
Like this... Yeah, go ahead.
No, so you know what's great is that people paid for this. Like, you had to buy it. It was like, I don't know, I can't see any pricing on that. I mean, what do you think these went for? $2 back in the day?
$2, probably like $2, maybe $1.50 or something. But also too, like in low the times before you could just like grab a Wacom tablet and Photoshop something. Bat Boy, I'm not saying Bat Boy is not real, but it looks like this Bat Boy image may have been manipulated somehow. But if that being said, even if it was manipulated, which it probably was because Bat Boy's real, it's not too bad. Like it's pretty good. Just like at a glance, it's weird enough where it's like, what the fuck is that thing? Like it definitely is.
It's creepy.
It is a bat mixed with a boy, but it's also not like poorly done. It's not a poor representation. I mean, in all it
is so pitch perfect.
Silently screaming.
I would have died to get a job writing copy for Weekly World News, like, because it just crushes. I love it. Mutant steals Mini Cooper car for Joyride. Let's go through some of these other Weekly World News covers. Let's see if we can distinguish, because I think in the searching of the interwebs, I think a lot of people have gotten obviously clever and have made fake ones, like ones that never existed. But let's
Okay.
see if we can point out some ones, but it's almost going to be impossible because they were all crazy and outlandish. Okay, we got blimp to lower world's fattest man into Super Bowl.
He's fucking. They say he weighs fucking 4,000 pounds. That's like 2 elephants.
It's fucking great. Bush reacts to Clinton's new 3-breasted intern.
Oh God, what Ted Bundy's ghosts stalking co-eds.
I could see that.
Okay, now this is something where like this translates well to like clickbait stuff. Now, like you said, this is clickbait. Quick test tells if you're going to heaven or hell. So all of these, like, click on this to tell me what dog you are, tell me what cat you are taking this test. Here is a test verifiable for like $1.75 for the publication. You could tell if you're going to heaven and hell quickly.
That's very true. Absolutely.
And I mean, it wouldn't be in this magazine if it wasn't like a verifiable, I wish we could get this to figure out, whether or not we were going. I mean, obviously they wouldn't print it if it was fake.
Okay, moving on here. We have I keep mom's ashes in the vacuum cleaner. Okay. I guess you did.
But that she only did that after her tragic spilled urn horror. So what the I mean, like that was someone. Either one of two things happened. Either this is completely made up, or someone used a vacuum to clean up a dead person's remains, and someone heard about this and then just said, "Hey, you know what? This is going to make a story. This is news. This is Weekly World News."
Yeah, we need to get on this, and we need to put this on the cover of our publication. And then, I mean, this one on the right almost seems it could be real. I feel like Saddam would have fed Christians to the lions. I think that was
crazy enough.
Yeah, I feel like he might have done that.
I mean, I'm a betting man. I'm a 50-50 on this one. This is a push. This is
yeah, dude. I feel like that could be actual real news. I think
that actually might be real news.
Yeah. That one we're on the fence about. Okay, I do remember that the face of Satan seen over U.S. Capitol. This was on the shelves. I remember seeing this as a kid, quite vividly. That picture, and it's as a kid, you're just kind of like too. You can't really decipher if it's real or fake, and you're just kind of terrified by it. You're like, holy Christ, that's
and they're playing to the fears of the religious too. Has the devil escaped from hell? I mean, has he? I want to know.
And there he is.
Yep. We got the UFO washed ashore by tsunami. Abducted Montana woman finds in spacecraft's lab.
Oh,
well, and actually, so I mean, I'm interested in they're in UFOs, and there's been some more like disclosure here this current year we're in with experts testifying in front of Congress. But below that, Bermuda toilet mystery. People who sit on it vanish. I think that maybe should have been the lead story, not being relegated to the lower third here.
Yeah, I need to know more about that.
I mean, the Bermuda Triangle, if everyone is unaware of this area in the Caribbean where a lot of planes and ships go missing. But apparently there is a toilet in Bermuda people who sit on it vanish.
Dangerous. Vanish.
Where is that toilet today?
Nobody knows. And also, where is Weekly World News today? I think sadly they disbanded many, many years ago. I don't even know if they made it out of the 90s, honestly, but thing of the past, man. It's sad. I wonder if I guess kids today will never know the glory of getting to see these on newsstands.
If some of them, if there's any holdovers or leftovers from Weekly World News, if they went on to do anything at The Onion, because The Onion is kind of like this, but like smarter. You know what I mean? Like The Onion it's wacky headlines that are
you're right,
unbelievable, but they're done. They're like tongue in cheek and funny. I mean,
I see what you mean. Yeah, it's like a weird cousin to Weekly World News almost, but now kind of using the obviously the power of the internet homepage kind of thing rather than it being on a shelf at your checkout at your Price Chopper, A&P, wherever the hell you
Stop and Shop, Big Y, Albertsons,
Stop and Shop,
Dixie,
Kroger, wherever. But that would be the best explanation of tabloids is stuff like this, whether it was celebrity garbage, whether it was teen heartthrobs, or absolutely outrageous crap like weekly world news.
And I'd imagine too, like there must be someone. Everyone has one of those people in their lives where they like post something unaware that it is not true. Like think it like
Oh
that
God.
still
Oh my
happens.
God.
That still happens, you know, damn near every day. But that was just imagine a whole newspaper full of those things. That's what a tabloid is.
Yeah, pretty much. Before we made the word fake news a big thing, fake news was profitable and it was actually fun, and you could laugh at it and be like, "This is haha fake news." Now fake news is like, "This is kind of fucked up and scary."
Yeah.
So it took a little bit of a turn, but yeah, I would
I'll
say
take
that
Bat Boy.
was. Yeah, I will. I'll take Bat Boy any day over some of the scary stuff that's been coming out. But that's tabloids. So those are all the tabloids of the 1990s. Let's do what we do, and let's kick it to another one of our glorious sponsors here at Anachronology that make all this possible. You too can also make it possible if you want to become a glorious Patreon member. We had mentioned at the beginning of the show, we do have a Patreon. You should go check it out at the following banner link below. Should be twiddling through your feed. www.patreon.com/anachronology. We're going to try our best, our very, very best, to put out as much special, super secret content for all Patreon members. So basically, each episode, you're going to get all that fun extra stuff. So regardless of the year we're in, we're going to do the show's version, every show's version of that year. You're going to get those 3 or so topics, but there's going to be much, much more extra fun stuff for Patreon members.
Bonus.
That's right, the bonus. So I highly recommend you do check that out. And of course, we are always super grateful when you help us out and you subscribe to our channel. That's a big part of it too. We need those clicks and that love. Just a tiny little click, little baby click.
What are you doing? What are you driving somewhere? Are you working out? Just put this in your headphones. Just listen to us. Just
that's what I'm saying. Watch it. You're on the. That's it. You're at work. You just snuck out to the toilet. You're in the stall. You're watching this right now. See the little hand arrow. Click that thing. Subscribe. Subscribe, and it will really help us out, and we can keep making these awesome episodes for you, for the listener, for the rest of you anachronauts out there. But let's kick it to another break and another wonderful sponsor here at Anachronology.
After this motherfucking messages, we'll be right back.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Uncle Injun's Birthday Ghosts. Uncle Injun's Birthday Party Ghosts for children's parties, where we bring the past to life with the wisdom of First Nations peoples. Step back in time with our friendly and mysterious living ghost reenactor. They will guide you through the wonders of their rich culture and traditions, making history come alive right before your eyes. But no pictures, please. The process of photography is extremely painful to our Uncle Injun Birthday Ghosts, and that pain reminds them that they were once human, but now are forever trapped in between this life and the next, bound by Uncle Injun's mastery over the dark arts. Learn to build traditional shelters, create indigenous crafts, feel the heartbeat of the earth as you dance to the rhythm of ancient songs and legends spoken in a long-dead tongue. Our living ghost reenactor is not just a storyteller, they're a teacher of valuable lessons too. Learn about the deep respect for nature, the importance of harmony and balance, and how the white man drove the living ghost brothers and sisters from their native lands by means of deceit, disease, and centuries of war on their culture and bloodlines. Whether it's a birthday bash or a special gathering, our living ghost reenactor will leave your guests mesmerized and enlightened, as well as horrified by the atrocities unjustly committed upon untold millions of the rightful inheritors of this land. Call us today to reserve your spot for an enchanting journey through time. Important notice, please be advised that participating in any smoking ceremony, such as a peace pipe ceremony, should not be used as a basis for concluding business deals or transactions with any Uncle Injun living ghost reenactor. Engaging any above-mentioned ceremonies will exclude participants in the future hirings of any Uncle Injun birthday ghost, as your corporeal body will be reduced to living out the remainder of its days in a pet cemetery-type situation. That is Uncle Injun's Birthday Ghost for all your children's parties' needs.
You are watching Anachronology.
You're damn right.
Category 3, baby.
Welcome back to Category 3. Rounding out the categories for 1990, we have tech. Look at this. Look at this cyberpunk broad.
That's dope, man.
Does she have a coffee
I don't
cup in
know.
her hand?
These
Is she
again. This is I don't know what this is. This is also all courtesy of AI producer.
Yeah.
Shout out to AI producer, absolutely crushing it with everything from the writing to the images, crushing it. By the way,
and I mean, this is probably like this. Actually, this image is like 1990 accurate of what,
feels it.
let's say, like what
We thought it was gonna be.
2023, like what, yeah, like 2023, like what? Remember, like when 20, you know, the year 2000 seems so far away, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is actually pretty representative of, yeah, you're gonna be able to like drink your Dunkin' Donuts and just have like,
Oh yeah.
wear your computer.
I felt like we were just like, oh, this is gonna be like in 5 years, we're just gonna be like plugged in and we're gonna be wearing sweet headsets and stuff. And then the Matrix came out like years later and just kind of validated, like, see, everybody's thinking this will be the gradual procession of things, you know, progression. We're just gonna keep moving toward being plugged into big machines.
Well, isn't yeah, because isn't like the Neuralink, right? Aren't they trying to put like chips in people's freaking brains? So I mean, yeah, it's
already doing it, like monkeys and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I mean, again, this was 1990 was an interesting time, and I think we mentioned this prior before we came to 1990. Was just the idea of like it was the birth of the World Wide Web. We were opening a door, we were opening Pandora's box, and we were seeing things we had never seen before. But when we look back on it, it just looks hella terrible. It looks like weird, creepy shit like this. I mean, this was basically the early iteration of what we thought the internet was going to be. Like these people right here.
Yeah, but to be fair, like I would argue that this representation right here, this is like the internet, like this is like the Rolls Royce of 1990 internet. Like this is like these like 3D model type.
Yeah,
like,
that's
characters.
true. Yeah,
this is like the Star Wars, like Lucas Arts, you know. Buco Bucks went into getting this to look like this in 1990.
You're right.
I guarantee.
You're right. This right here was like this was probably took about 100 people made this working around the clock. There were computers and hard drives the size of pure buildings rendering these out in render farms just to get these people right here. And they didn't even do anything. They didn't even talk. They just like moved their arms very slowly and creepily.
Yeah,
that was it.
This quote you got. This quote, I think, does a good job of kind of like framing it. It says, the browser in combination with various web protocols allowed access to the web from a wide variety of operating systems and devices. It allowed untrained users to click and browse from website to website. But even before there were public websites, there needed to be a browser. So once again, like we kind of touched on the show, the internet that everyone is on all the time was nothing like it now. Like the shit that we were talking about in 1990 was dial-up modem. Do you guys even know what a dial-up modem is? Or who's listening to this, if you're young, like you have to use like a landline phone, which I even doubt you have in your house, to plug into your computer, plug it into the wall, to then use your AT&T phone line to freaking call up. It sounds like you were killing a robot to get on the internet, and even then you would be lucky to come across a website that looked this baller in 1990.
To be like to have like full color and to look as like, I guess, as like futuristic as this. Let's see if we can pull up. Okay, perfect. So here, this right here, this would be a great example of like just what a web page looked like. And what it just looks absolutely awful. It's got super primitive text. It's just got like the little top bar up there with the hyperlinks. This is as, I guess, design and graphically orientated as I would say most websites were in the real early 90s, when, like Clay said, when you could get on to the very minimal dial-up network and surf the 20-something web pages that you could click off of from AOL homepage or something. Look at this
I think thing. Also, because I think also, if memory serves me, I want to say like a big part of the like invention of the internet was for like scientists to share information with each other. So it's like, of course, some scientists, they're just going to care about the data, that they're like, I need to get this data conveniently and quickly from one place to another. So once you take out like the eggheads who are actually trying to like use this tool for some good to benefit the work they're doing, and then you get all the yahoos. Once it became
it got weird.
it gets weird real quick.
Oh, here's another one. Now we're moving into a level of a little more sophistication. And then there were things where like, oh wow, there's a sidebar and there's color and there's some kind of cool looking graphics. And this again, this is back when there was not GPS. There were still people that went on vacation with massive atlases and maps in their cars. And this was this whole other way of just like going and using the again primitive internet to print out your directions. And I can remember many a family vacations of just like stapled pieces of paper of like direction by direction turns. It was a freaking nightmare to travel to back then.
I don't even know if MapQuest exists anymore. And it says explore the world with the #1 consumer travel site. That's
oh my God.
That like MapQuest was the world's #1. That could just be a lie that they're saying that. It was probably the only consumer travel site.
It had to have been. And here's NASA. So here's NASA, the people that took us to the freaking moon. This was their homepage in that era. And my God, does that thing look
it
honestly
looks like
way better than the other way. I would hope that NASA's website looked a little cooler in that time too.
Like it's like you can tell they have like this logo here in the screen that we're showing. It's the one page. This must be their splash page, and they actually didn't do like a bad job. They have like their graphics
it's not bad.
like embossed. It's not bad. I mean, it still looks like it looks like when a video game needed to make a website, like for just a generic. Like website and a video game, but this was real life. Like it doesn't look like, especially the company as big as freaking NASA, it doesn't look like a multi-billion-dollar company owns this. This is like their website.
It's their website, and this was it. This is what started to happen. Is once the internet got big, it opened up, and then everybody. It was like storefronts. So it was like, hey, big companies, you better get your presence out there, and it better look freaking cool. Oh, here's a great example too. This is, of course, the probably beginning of the end. It was when news cycles just exploded onto the internet. Nobody was more famous in that 90s era than the Juice. Here's obviously the entire OJ apparently trial was put on some kind of freaking HTML page. Wow. The OJ Simpson main page on CNN.com. This is awesome. I love the like OJ Simpson freaking icon too.
Oh
it's
man,
brilliant.
This is they've got like I kind of feel bad for the I mean like the victims are just like silhouettes. The murder I noticed that they just have like a magnifying glass, but not a fucking knife that he stabbed them to death with. That would have been a little more on brand. But dude, yeah, this is like, I mean, this is actually, I want to say like ahead of its time, but dude,
Yeah,
this
it
is a
is.
straight dude. This is is this CNN's page? No, oh my
Yeah,
god,
I
or
think
is this like
this does look like it, or it could. Who knows? Back in the day too, because that was the other thing is once people could code HTML, everybody remember there was just so many of these kinds of like starter web pages that people made. It could be somebody's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because this definitely like
terrible.
but it's like this is like a little ahead of its time where this is like Wikipedia before Wikipedia, like real-time Wikipedia of
wow.
I mean, there's always a trial of the century, but dude, this is a straight up like a play-by-play of a court case in 1990 that's everyone was
Brilliant.
watching on TV, and it had its own webpage.
Played out in magnificent HTML.
It has to be a first.
Oh, dude, I remember when this happened. I remember PizzaNet. I remember when this happened, and this was probably, again, we're talking about brands getting their stuff out there on the internet at that early stage. But this was basically like the first attempt at trying to order a pizza online, and it was an absolute nightmare. It was a freaking nightmare, and it never ever worked. But again, Pizza Hut was like, yeah, we're just going to make PizzaNet. PizzaNet's going to change the world. It did not, spoiler, change the world. But look at this one. I mean, this is all grayscale. Like nobody really tried to make this cool. If you would like to order a pizza to be delivered.
So now I wonder, right? It's like, I mean, I'm sure they didn't think too hard about this. Like how much into the coding, right? Like if this is just a very generic, it says name, a street address with your phone number. So if you are not in like a delivery area, right? Like, or you're Pizza Hut isn't like connected to the internet. I mean, there's so many fucking Pizza Huts, and there wasn't the internet everywhere, even in 1990, right? Like there wasn't the internet
Yeah,
everywhere.
you're right.
So
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
how like did you need to live like literally in I don't know where, like somewhere around where Pizza Hut is headquartered, where there would be, 10-mile radius where maybe 10 people have fucking the internet and maybe 2 of those people eat at Pizza Hut? Like
You're right.
this seemed like a bad idea from the start.
It was, yeah, and it was like you said, it was very just like inclusive to if you lived in a big metropolitan area where you could do that. That's just this was not an option to many people, but it just goes, it just shows it shows the like the super rudimentary means of the internet back then. Just people were, you just wanted to be on the internet, so it just didn't matter.
And I think one thing too that we are not we should also be mentioning too is like the speed at which these web pages would load would be brutal. So you
Like
could
every
probably
picture had to load individually on a website.
you could probably walk to Pizza Hut, eat a pizza, and walk back before
Yeah.
you actually completed an
Oh,
order to go through with using the internet.
And that's
this-
that's absolutely true. And then obviously the other like real struggle as a young adolescent boy was once porn got big on the internet,
Oh, yeah.
you just waited for porn to load. You waited for a picture of a boob that would take about 5 minutes to fully just load. So it's just like you're in it for the long game. You are in it for the long game, believe me. Oh, here we go. Yahoo. Now, Yahoo was huge once it kind of became dominant maybe in the mid 90s. That probably came a little after that early caveat. But here shows the evolution of like an HTML homepage on early internet. They were like, we're going to toss some color in there, some sidebars, some links and pictures.
And talk about like being ahead of their time. The games. So just seeing all these different games. This is like, it's too bad that touch phones and touch screens and phones and app stores didn't exist, because each one of these games you could probably charge 50 cents for or whatever, like on an app store. These were all just for free. You just had to like go on.
Right.
You have to have the access to get on the internet. But this was a huge cornerstone of early internet, was crappy little games. Like think of like Solitaire that comes like stock on your Microsoft back in the day. This is, what do we got here? Addiction, Solitaire, Blackjack, Bridge was a bunch of card games.
Tornado 21. I've never heard of Tornado 21.
Yeah, Gem Drop, Pop and Drop, Puzzle, Qbert, obviously, Rocket Mania, Jewel Quest, Noah's Ark. Yeah, so there's not just card games on here. There's a bunch of shit, but games were huge on the early internet. Huge.
Yeah, you're right. And the thing about it is like all those little places, usually all these little, not even just the games, but surrounding the games, it was all about like chat rooms. Like chatting on the internet was the earliest real big thing, right? So even before like I'm going to go surf the internet, it was like, of course, the invention of AOL Instant Messenger, ICQ,
message boards and chat rooms.
Talking in those rooms, so for instance, say I'm on the cribbage, playing the cribbage game. Well, you could be talking to all these people that like the cribbage game. Usually everybody's trying to go to another freaking chat room to hook up or something, because that's, of course, once the creepy factor came into it, it was just like game on internet, So it was the sky was the limit. For the internet. And here we can show a great example of actually not even just the software. Here's what we were dealing with hardware wise. This was the mystique of 90s, early 90s computing hardware is what you're looking at right here. I mean, look at that shit.
That on the right, there is like the first laptop and an external like 3.5-inch floppy disk drive. I don't know how much info can be stored on a 3.5 floppy. I know it is not a lot. The combined computing power of everything that we're looking at right now what is like the calculator function on your iPhone probably has more computer powering than these fucking things. Like, and they're giant too. Like they're freaking thick boys. These have got some
look
thick
at
boys.
that, and then everything was all like so big. And I mean, look at the towers on that always amazed me about old school PCs too, like on the left, massive towers. And the best part of it is there wasn't much inside the tower. There's like a CD-ROM, which obviously came around way later too, like the better CD-ROMs. But then it was like you said, there's a floppy insert right there, the power buttons. And then there really wasn't much on the back. You'd plug in the keyboard, you'd plug in the monitor, and you'd plug in, like you said, you'd plug in your phone jack to the computer. And it was just like, dude, that was it. But look how big they were. I don't know if they made them big for like heat consolidation, like venting, or they're just massive. I mean, look at, and I can see how heavy that thing probably was too.
I can feel the like the monitor, like that plastic, that like grainy kind of thick plastic. Like I can feel it in my fucking fingers.
It's just crazy how, and over time, everything got slimmer and smaller. And you just said it too. You could probably fit every single thing in that computer on a thumb drive, everything,
easily,
and it wouldn't take up any space at all, and you'd still have room. That's how crazy and ridiculous computing was back at that time. So it just goes to show you we have come a very, very long way since 1990. I want to take a look really quick at, I want to see if I can pull up, let me share the screen here. Speaking of not knowing how to use computers.
It's okay. You're in 2023 tech. If only this was 1990 tech. We'd be able to navigate it. There would only be two things you could do.
Let me go back to us.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, exactly. We could not be doing this show in the guise of 1990.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Standing on the shoulders of giants. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's take a look at some other amazing, some video evidence of our very early on computing in the 1990s. This, of course, is taken from the 1992 movie The Lawnmower Man. So this goes to show you the kind of conceptual ideas of what the future could be.
So that's going into the internet. That's how we used to get into the internet.
Yep. This is what we thought the internet could be. Yeah, this tech was high tech, bro.
This is like 1990 quantum computing.
Look at this. Incredible.
This is the birth of Google.
This is Jeff Bezos.
The reboot adventures take place here in the mainframe.
Yes.
One of the best things about living inside a computer is you can surf the static on your hoverboard if you're good enough. Me and my quasi-logical friends love to drive the logicals nuts.
This
Once
is
we lined
awesome.
up all the random
This is also
bites
the
in the
internet.
shape of Madonna's butt. It was excellent.
I think Reboot was it was like a Saturday morning cartoon or something, right?
Yeah,
It was all like the fantasy of cool like people that lived inside of the computer.
It was there was
It looks like shit.
There was citizens who lived in this looks horrible.
And
There
unlike
were
your
citizens
world,
that
depending
lived
on
in the
data
computer.
when you could find yourself anywhere, and someone could even steal your lips. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think this guy was supposed to be like the protector
We have responsibilities.
of the people that lived there.
Safe from bad data.
And the forces
I love how it says early megabyte, but I don't feel the actual version that went on television was much better than this.
It definitely looked way better.
Oh,
but they were still all like
it looks like garbage.
The way they moved was awful. Yeah, this is 1990 promo video one. This is like prototype.
Yeah, that's what they think they're going to do, but I think it's extremely unlikely. See ya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Show and they'll give me my lips back.
Yeah, that was absolute trash. Okay, so what's this? This says the early days of computer shopping. Okay, so here we go. This is some like if you went to service merchandise. There we go. I'll throw it out there. Early 90s, like department store. Here's what you would be buying.
And you put stuff with it. Absolutely. Oh, I see. This is it here.
Comes with a 160 meg hard drive and
160 meg hard drive. It comes with.
You're speaking Greek to that guy. He doesn't know what any of that means.
And a laser printer. She wants a laser printer.
Okay.
But the laser printer isn't Macintosh.
You can get a Macintosh laser printer. Sure. It's called the.
Wow.
These guys. Are these guys trying to strong arm the computer guy?
$1,900 just for this.
Comes with a mouse and keyboard.
Look at those two
And I gotta buy
TVs
the
too.
printer, the keyboard. Oh, it comes with a keyboard. And I got to buy the printer. And
This guy's furious.
how much is a laser printer then?
They're around $7.99.
What is this confound internet you speak of?
Is this better?
It's $19.99.
This is
well,
better.
you know, it has a faster.
Holy moly, man! That price tag was $1979. So almost $2,000 for that right there. I remember that brand NEC too. They made like a lot of those monitors and stuff, but just look at that shit, man. It was so clunky and boxy and heavy.
And this dude looks like he knows it's not worth it to this guy too.
On the internet, cyberspace,
Oh, yeah.
sex-free, hello virtual reality.
Oh, I love this.
Interactive appetite, searching for a website, a window to the world, got to get online.
Take
Ooh.
a spin, now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the internet.
Uh-oh, the kid's guide, huh? Oh, the Jameson family.
Hey there, it's us again.
Hi.
This is my
Hey
brother
there.
Peter, mom and dad, and I'm Dasha. Today,
Dasha?
we're going to be showing our
Dasha.
friends, Andrew and Lisa, the basics of the internet, and we thought you might want to come along.
It'll be cool.
Now, here's a little background. When we installed internet access on our computer, I got the whole family
Uh-oh.
involved.
It's true. Everybody has
I caught my husband looking at some weird stuff.
This seems a little nefarious.
Now that
The
I've gone on
Jamesons
the
don't
internet,
seem all
I'd rather
happy.
be on my computer than doing just about anything.
It's really cool.
The internet gave us a whole world of exciting new possibilities.
I bet it did,
So
you
I
little
guess
creep.
This is a story
Yeah.
of how it changed our lives. Maybe it will yours too.
Okay.
The Kid's Guide to the Internet.
Take a spin, now you're in with the
Wow,
techno
they
set.
really went hard on this public service announcement for the internet. I don't know, but that was it. It was just like buttoned up white people, you know, because at that point, I mean, not to be classist or anything, but it just felt like the internet wasn't as widely available to people. Like you said, you either knew somebody that was like wealthy enough to have a computer. I felt like your parents were educators, right? So you probably saw a computer early on in your life.
Yeah, but dude, we had I remember we had like an Apple IIe. Like we had that for
Oh, wow.
the longest time. And then it
Cool.
wasn't
Yeah.
until I'm trying to remember like what grade I was in when there was some deal where we got like an old Macintosh before like Steve Jobs made Apple cool. It was like an old before iMac and shit. But I remember it was like I was like, oh, cool, we're getting a computer, but it was still like the crappy Apple. Like it wasn't even a good one. Like the screen had color because the first one we had was like the broccoli green, the Apple IIe and everything. But
I can see that in my mind right now. I can see with that exact computer.
It probably wasn't until like the late 90s where we actually got like a decent computer. Like yeah, I think
Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now in today's episode,
this
it is time to revisit.
So what you were saying is true. I don't think I remember we got our first like family computer, dude. It was probably like 96. My dad actually let us get a computer, and it didn't look like this, but it had the same feel. It was just like really crappy, and it was just I felt like I was just part of this exclusive club to get in and have actually a home computer. Up until then, it was like I'll use the one at school. I'll go to my friend's house whose parents were cool enough to buy him his own computer. You know, like I did not have that luxury.
I remember it had to have been the late 90s because we had like it came with a CD, like oh god, was it Coiler's Encyclopedia? But I remember being blown away because there was like the video files, there was only like they can only be like 10 seconds long. So there'd be like 10 seconds of like JFK talking. Then there's like, 10 seconds of the man on the moon. Then there's like 10 seconds of some dude in Vietnam getting wasted. Like, but it was like I remember being like blown away that I was like had a CD drive and could watch like video on my computer.
What were they called? Like the Britannica? It was like a collection, the Encyclopedia Britannica or some shit like that.
Because mine was, because ours was like the Apple, and Apple, like Britannica didn't have like, or Apple didn't want to get the rights to like pay Britannica.
They did the Apple version of it.
Coilers, yes, it was Coilers, like Collier. It was like Coilers Encyclopedia.
I love it. So this is apparently a booting up and exploring.
Visit the 90s mystery custom built PC. If you guys missed the last video, just a little recap here. This machine was very generously donated to me by a viewer who goes by the name The Desert Lad. Thank you very much once again.
He's lying. He found it in a dumpster.
This was a machine from the 1980s. It turned out to be a mid-90s Cyrix 6X86 custom built PC, which is still super awesome.
She is
now in the original video, I was not able to fully.
It looks all like cigarette stained and just gross.
Yeah, that plastic, like there's something in the chemical made with that plastic. It turns yellow after like 10 years.
You're right. It like oxidizes and turns gross.
But I did say that I was going to order one of these right here, an AT
Oh.
to PS2 adapter, and it came in finally. So we're going to be able to power this thing on today. Get
Wherever
past
you
that
ordered that
keyboard
from, they're like,
error.
you need
Oh.
a what?
On the
A what
hard drive. I'm
adapter?
hoping there's something on
Look
here.
at the
It'd be really
big
cool if there
switch on
was.
the front of
No
it
OS
too.
install. I'm going to guess Windows.
You know, of course, the 95 was one of the most famous ones to come out. Another thing to look at with these computers is like, this was way before obviously Apple got in the game when they started to say, we're going to make computers look cool. Like computers just didn't look cool in the 90s. Look at them. They just look boxy and just big clunky buttons. Like it's just not, there's no aesthetic. Like you wouldn't be like putting it on your workstation and making sure people see it. It just, they were hidden underneath the computer desk because they just look like total crap.
And I mean, and you can tell like even just how out of place the monitor is. Like even the
Yeah.
monitor
Maybe
this guy
there's
has
nothing
is
on it. If there's
completely
nothing
out
on
of
it,
place.
we will install something on it because, well,
It
that's
is.
what we do around these parts. Before we get to that, though, I do want to
Got an
highlight
8
one very
times
important
CD
thing
drive.
that a couple of you guys pointed out in the original video, and that is that the
Why don't you
graphics
fire
card,
this
the
up for me,
original
dog?
is
Let's
supposed
see.
to say. So let's just browse around here. First thing I want to do is change the desktop wallpaper.
Oh,
We
okay.
got-
Yeah,
looks
Jesus.
like
Wow.
Oh yeah, these are like non-standard wallpapers. Oh my
Look
gosh.
at how
What is
boxy
this?
and old that looks.
What the, what
Yeah, and even this is
AOL.
probably like whatever this
I
computer.
think this is somebody's
This is
name
probably
on
like this is
it
definitely
now.
better than
Yeah,
the
there's
first
a bunch
computer that we
of-
had.
there's
Like
a
this
bunch
is a
of
pretty good computer for like 1990.
Yeah, I mean,
This is
well,
or-
95, yeah,
well,
90,
95, yeah,
95,
yeah,
at that
obviously,
point,
95.
everything started to really kind of get better, you know, because like I said, I remember when we got ours, I want to say it came like maybe custom that you could get it installed with Windows 95, which was hot and everybody used that for the foreseeable future until, what was the next one? It was like the real big, was it 98? Windows 98?
Windows 98.
Yeah, and then that was super cool, and then everybody used that. But we just made something out of nothing at that time, and I think that was an interesting what ifs. Oh, what if, you know, what could this be? But then I think everybody just realized over time, like we're all going to be on here eventually, and like you said today, it's in our pockets, on our phones, it's everywhere. It's just like, dude, this was the start. This was the shotgun start to the internet is everything. And it started like that in some crappy little computer on a Pizza Hut, pizza.net.
Dude, I wonder.
It started
like, I wonder
there.
too. Like, there's got to be people who lost. Like, there had to have been people who like they saw the potential of the internet and they're like, oh, I've got this really great idea, and then they just like the technology wasn't there to like catch up with their idea or like to be able to like implement their idea. There had to have been some people who just like lost their fucking shirt or like lost a like bunch of money like on like, oh, I believe in this, I believe, but they just didn't have like the infrastructure, the tech to make their idea to come to fruition. Because even what's his dick, Bezos, I mean, it wasn't like the first iteration of Amazon failed. You know what I mean? Like I think the first thing like it failed, and he needed like a 300 grand from his grandparents or something to like keep it afloat. So you know that there was somebody back in 1990 who like had, I believe in the internet, I want to put all my money in this. They're like, the bank is coming to take your house and your wife's divorcing you and you're gonna drink yourself to death because you fucking you got caught up in the internet.
You put it all on the wrong number, my friend.
Yeah.
But it is true. I mean, then there's the stories of the people that there were incredible gambles, and it was all about timing. And the timing for some of these things were just monumental. And then it was just like, obviously, the birth of e-commerce and just like everything changed. But everything started where it was almost laughable. Like in that stage in the 90s, it was like science fiction-y. It was just like it was like the picture of the woman that we saw on the front cover of Tech, where it's just like big headsets. Oh, we're going to be all plugged into machines in 10 years. And it's been slow to roll, but tech has exploded. But that's some 90s tech for you, everybody. That's what you missed out on. If you did not live through that, the glorious 90s tech revolution that was whatever the hell that was.
You can just hear the startup, the modem dial up. I could just like clear as day. I
Me
can hear it
too.
in my head.
Yeah, me too. It's actually, you know, I think I might have it on here. Let me see if I got it as a sound bite. If I do, I'll play it. I want to say I had it. I had it at one point. It was something I had on here. Let me see. Because it is a very distinguishable sound. It is. Here it is. Here we go. That was it. That's how it started. I'll play it one more time. And that was the sound. And the best part was it took over your home phone line. So if you picked up the phone, that's what you heard. I'm going to call my friend. And you were interrupting somebody's precious internet. I can't tell you how many times I'd be screaming up to my mom, or someone would be screaming up to somebody else that picked up the freaking phone. You're ruining this.
I'm on the internet. Don't pick up the phone.
Yes.
Oh, that's
and
and
then
that's
a lot
how you
of
know you were. I was going to say, you were wealthy if you had a second phone line just for the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And I had some friends that were cool and they had the second phone line. I was not in that.
Never had the second phone line.
Nope, never did. All right. Well, that's category 3. We made it through live. We are going to segment it. We have a segment to go off of this glorious category. AI producer has conjured us up a fun little segment, one that we like to call "What Came First," because we're going to decide what did come first. It's kind of like we take something from today and we compare it to then, so we can kind of decide, what did come first. And we're going to be talking about, obviously, with the caveat of the Switch, which is super sweet. I have a Switch. I really enjoy it. It's obviously a cool release from Nintendo. It's been out for, how long has it been out now? Several years, really. This has been their flagship.
Yeah, at least 4 years, I think. At least 4 or 5, I think.
Yeah, and they've come out with some really sweet stuff. To know, obviously, Zelda's been the hot talk of the town. I know Tears of the Kingdom was great. Breath of the Wild before that. Just really, obviously, they're taking a lot of Nintendo properties and they're absolutely whooping it. I've heard
new Mario.
Wonder. And it's cool. I think Nintendo does a really good job of keeping things like they keep the people that grew up with Nintendo happy, but then they introduce it to these new generations too. So you still get some side scroller stuff, but it's all big and bold and colorful and crazy. And they do a good job of reinventing all their properties really well. So that's kind of the thing about Nintendo. But I think what people don't understand is it really didn't start with Switch. Really, the birth of it all was with this amazing product right here, which was the Game Boy. Nintendo Game Boy came out in 1990 and blew everybody's collective minds. Like this guy, like this lady right here, or guy. What is even happening in that picture?
It says Game Boy, more fun than a ferret down your trousers.
Wow.
But I don't know why. I don't know why this kid has a ferret. 2, why he's putting it down his trousers, or 3, why he's putting a ferret down his trousers while he's playing Game Boy. You would think you'd want to not multitask so much, especially if you got a wild animal down your crotch.
It is going to town on his junk, but he's not even caring because the Game Boy is so immersive and fun. And there's a good look at what the Game Boy was back there. It was a green and black colored screen. Didn't get any better than that. Burning your eyes out on those pixels. And then the offerings, obviously, where I think Tetris came loaded in it, right? That came with the Game Boy.
I believe that's stock.
And then there was a Mario game, right?
I was gonna say wasn't it like Mario? Was it Mario Land or something where it was?
Here's another good look at it. There was a Paperboy, and I think you're right. I think it was. You're right. It was Mario Land. I don't even think it was like Mario World or whatever, or Super Mario.
I think there was a Metroid. Was an early one. I think because that was also like a flagship for NES. But so the screen on this thing too, like not even the color, the size of the screen is what
it's so small.
Is it like 2 inches by 2 inches? Like it is. Like I'm looking at my phone right now. Like it is.
You're right.
It's. I think like the width of my phone, is like
wider look at a phone screen. It was like half of that. Like the bottom of your phone screen was about it. Maybe even less than that was what you were playing with.
It might even be like a little less. And there was no backlight.
No backlight. And you think about just holding your phone like this in your hand. The Game Boy was a little bit wider, but probably smaller, compactor. It was really small.
And imagine, what did it take? Like 4 batteries? Did it take 4 AA?
I think so.
4
You're right. It did take batteries. This was way before the caveat of I'm going to charge it with my USB and all this other shit. You're right, dude. It was a purely battery based product. And I remember they came out with all kinds of cool shit, like an extender light, the screen that would light up. There was they really went hard on Game Boy for many years.
They had a thing that had like speakers. It had an audio jack. That's right. It had an audio jack.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And this was kind of the big thing. This back in the day, because obviously this is coming off of Nintendo in the late 80s owning shit and being like, yo, this is awesome, the home console. And this was obviously such a big revolution. Unfortunately for Nintendo, they weren't the only game in town, because also in that time period came out the mother effing Game Gear, where Sega was like, I'm going to double down. I'm going to put out a handheld and it's going to be color. Game over.
And I'm trying to think. I think it wasn't too much more expensive than the Game Boy. I don't think so. It's also like, as far as being a
Interesting.
competitor, like you
Like a
did have
price
to pay a
point?
little, yeah, like a little bit more. I think I remember, like you did have to. It wasn't like double the price of a Game Boy, but it was a little bit more. But like you said,
Mhm.
you get color. You get color.
Yeah, the color was really sweet. And I would say too that, like, I think from a graphical point, it just felt like it was like a mini version of playing the Genesis on a screen, because it was color. So it wasn't like, maybe, I don't know the specs. I don't know if it was exactly the same, but it just felt like the Genesis on a way smaller screen, where the Nintendo Game Boy was just kind of like, it's a way
Completely
above
different.
a pocket game, but it's like the Genesis just sung, man. Yeah, here we go. Here's what Sonic looked like on it. You know what I'm saying? Full color. Obviously, another maybe even smaller screen. That looks even smaller than the Game Boy screen.
Oh no, I don't know.
That's so small, dude. That's like
It's
an
so
Apple
tiny.
Watch face.
Yeah, that's what the size of it is. It's the size of a
Oh
Apple
my
Watch.
god, dude, it's
Did they ever
just so small.
Did they ever come out with like a Game Gear? Did they ever come out with a Game Gear that had 3 buttons, or did they always have the 2? I'm trying to remember if there was like
Mm,
another iteration of the Game Gear, because obviously the
I
Sega
don't know.
controller had the 3 buttons. I was
You're
just
right.
wondering
It did.
if they ever made a Game Gear with 3, if there was like a
Boy, that's
Game
an
Gear
interesting
Advance or
question.
something. I can't remember. I can't see.
Um,
I would never
I
think.
didn't have a Game Gear. I did have a Game Boy. I remember
Well, I was
getting
gonna
a
say
Game Boy for a birthday, and that was super sweet. But I remember a friend had a Game Gear, and I was like, man, that thing is cool, man. That thing
I
was like
remember the
a
I remember the
sports
Game Gear being
car, a handheld game.
far less of everyone having a lot more Game Boys than people having Game Gears. Man, that screen
And
is
then
so
obviously the one thing I did love about that time period was how Nintendo and Sega did not hold back. They went hard in the paint after each other and talked a lot of shit. Obviously playing on the color versus non-color fight, but I do remember that pretty vividly. And I always remember back in that time, a lot of the advertisements were in. I remember comic books had a ton of like
Oh yeah.
inlays that were advertisements, and it'd always be like a Game Gear one or a Game Boy one, and they just talked a ton of shit. They talked a ton of shit, and I always thought that was really funny. But it does harken back to the question. I mean, Switch is awesome, but you wouldn't have Switch, you wouldn't have any of that shit unless you had Game Boy and Game Gear. Period.
And then now the thing that's out now is also Steam Deck, right? The Steam Deck,
Oh, that's
the
right. I don't know much about Steam Deck. What's the deal with that?
So I know it's
Handheld?
Valve's handheld, but much like
Okay.
the obviously the only things that are available on Switch are
Hmm.
Nintendo's proprietary, so it's not like not like Nintendo games can be played on other platforms. But the Steam Deck, anything that is, I believe, on Valve's store or PC, any PC game, you're
Hmm.
able to play that on your Steam Deck. But
Cool.
if the Switch is whatever 5 years old or so now, the Steam Deck I think is only like a year or so old. But the advancements to go from a Game Boy to a Game Gear to I don't really there was like PlayStation Vita or whatever for a little while there, and then the Switch, which obviously exploded in popularity, and now the Steam Deck. Like, is there going to be like another
Hmm.
5-10 years? Is there going to be like another more souped up handheld portable gaming device? You know what I mean? Like, we've already
Yeah.
they keep they've been keep making them since the 90s, so it
You're
seems
right.
like they're not going anywhere.
No, they're not. And I mean, I think that now the new step is obviously these VR headsets. It's kind of like,
Mhm.
it's like I'll strap it on my head and I'll have like a way bigger picture, really good like 4K image and everything like that. But the travel idea of those earlier devices was just so unique, right? Because it's like if you liked gaming, we are children of the gaming revolution. When we grew up on Nintendo. We grew up even on Atari before that. And this was just like now we can take it anywhere. And they even have now these things where you like strap them onto your phone and they got little controllers on them and stuff. I've seen things like that like can, because you think about it too, they're also trying to make a run at like gaming on your phone. I mean, kids are playing. My mom plays the Bejeweled game or whatever, like it's crack. So it's here. It's been here.
And to be a child in the backseat of a car going on a vacation or on a school bus going to a field trip, to be the owner of a Game Boy. Oh my God.
You were the coolest kid. Coolest kid.
You're the coolest.
You were owning shit.
Can I play that?
But yeah,
I think that?
Oh, dude, absolutely. But yeah, I think that basically really, so, we would just not have anything cool today if it weren't for those two inventions, Game Gear and the Game Boy. And if you still have one, you're lucky. I'm sure you can buy one now for hundreds of dollars on freaking eBay or whatever.
I thought Nintendo, didn't they put out like an anniversary Game Boy that had like some things like, I can't remember if there was like a one-off, if there was like a limited, I think this might have happened a couple years ago where they did like a run of, or maybe I'm thinking of like a Game Boy Advance or a Game Boy Color or something, but either case, they're still pumping them out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And if you have one, that's awesome, and you can enjoy it. And if you want one, go find it and play it. It's a trip down memory lane for sure. But yeah, that is what came first, the segment, and of course, all segments are.
We'll see you after these very short messages. So get your asses back to the chopper.
Body by Basil Beauty Products. Introducing Body by Basil Beauty Products, the epitome of luxury for young royalty, exclusively for the children of the super rich. Indulge your little princes and princesses with the most exquisite and exclusive makeup line ever created. Body by Basil Beauty Products, crafted for the privileged few, our makeup collection is designed to cater to the unique needs and desires of young royalty. That's why all of our products exclusively use precious resources sourced from the far corners of the world, from rare gemstone-infused lip glosses to diamond dust-enhanced blushes. Every item in our collection is a true testament to opulence. To maintain the exclusivity and ensure personalized attention, our products come with a waiting list. By joining the elite queue, you secure your child's access to our coveted beauty products, making them feel like true VIPs as they anticipate the arrival of their regal package. Our formulations are carefully crafted with natural, child-friendly ingredients, ensuring a gentle and safe beauty experience, leaving their skin feeling soft, radiant, and healthy. Join the ranks of the super rich and let your children bask in the magnificence of Body by Basil Beauty Products. Embrace the allure of rarity and exclusivity today.
You are watching Anachronology.
I'm actually wearing my Body by Basil right now. You can't tell. It just seeps right into my skin. My skin just sucks it right in. It's incredible. It's very expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah, you're worth it.
Well, or you want to be young royalty, which I've always kind of fantasized at some point in my life. I could be young royalty. But thank you, Body by Basil. Thank you, all our marvelous sponsors. To all our sponsors, great sponsors, great people. They're always like trying to keep us going. And obviously, just like you can help us keep going. So we don't have to always rely on sponsors. We'd like to rely on you, fellow Anachronauts, helping us keep going on our glorious journey to archive the past, to save the future. But you should check us out.
You can rely on us to do just that, to take you through time by going to patreon.com/Anachronology. And like I said, just hit the little button. It's going to take you 2 seconds. Go clicky, clicky. We're going to do episodes every week. And most importantly, these things here that we're giving you, they're going to be ad free. You're going to get some bonus material. You're going to be part of the Cool Kids Club. You're going to be Body by Basil. Let me put it that way. You're going to be Body by Basil.
You want to be cool? Yes, you do. You want to be cool. And that means you need to subscribe and you need to become a Patreon member, because when you become a Patreon member, you become an Anachronaut. We bring you in to the Anachronaut family. You travel with us through time. And look, like we said, we're going to put out that free content. We're even going to let you throw out things like, hey, you know what year you haven't been to and you need to go to? You tell us where to go. You tell us what categories to talk about. Your say matters to us, people.
You're part of the crew.
You are part of the crew. And again, I mean, thank you for joining us. This has been a fun episode. 1990.
Yes,
Give it up for
1990.
1990. That was good. That was a good one. I mean, 1990,
Like-
little jaunt down memory lane.
Like Tom and I said, we were but youths in the year of 1990, so we were not yet grown men. It had quite an integral part in making us who we are today by being young little boys in 19. I tell you what, we didn't have in 1990. We didn't know freaking Body by Basil. We had Gameboys and giant computers.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't have amazing youth refining glowing skincare products. We just had fun stuff like primitive tech. And we said cool words like talk to the hand. That's what we did in 1990. But yeah, thanks for listening. We always like doing this. Like Clay said, we're going to try to keep doing this as much as we can. We like it. Every episode's another year. And we got a lot of time to cover. So again, throw any comments in the comment threads. Where should we go? If we talked about things that we either butchered, slaughtered, or didn't say correctly, tell us as well. If you want to be mean in the comments, bring it on. If you want to be nice, bring that on as well.
Yeah, and like I said, you want to add whatever you would like to add to the show in regards to something that we should bring up or cover topic-wise, send it along. We're all ears. We're taking this year by year, topic by topic. So whatever happens to come our way, we will hopefully be able to cover it on Anachronology.
Yeah, we have a good time doing this. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And yeah, we will see you next time. Thank you, Clay. A pleasure as always, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
Salute.